Yeah, hello everybody. So in this class I am going to explain about Maxwell's equations. So before enter into this topic, before entering into this topic, so we would like to know the definitions of or what do you mean by Maxwell's equations and what are the applications of Maxwell's equation. So let us see one by one. So before that I would like to explain about the small concept of electric field intensity and magnetic field intensity. Okay. So in case of static electric field intensity, static electric field. So I think you are already aware of this term, static electric field. If the electric field is produced due to the static charges, such a field is called as static electric field. Okay, or this field is also called as time invariant field. Time invariant field. Okay, electric field. Similarly, here. This is a static magnetic field, or it's also time invariant field, magnetic field, and this time invariant electric field. Okay. So now in time invariant fields, this electric field intensity and magnetic field intensity independent each other, but in case of, this is in case of what? In case of time invariant fields, TIF, time invariant fields. But in case of time variant fields, it is not like independent, it is depending upon each other. So that means E bar and H bar dependent on each other, So now coming to the definition of the Maxwell's equation. So Maxwell's equations describes the relationship between, now here the Maxwell's equations describes the relationship between changing electric field and magnetic field. So this is about the Maxwell's equations description. That means the purpose of Maxwell's equation is it describes the relationship between changing electric field and changing magnetic field. Okay. So now see, in Maxwell's equation we are going to study about two forms, namely two forms. One is integral form and point form. In two ways we are going to study the Maxwell's equation, that is integral form and point form. Okay. Now see the applications of Maxwell's equation. So where the study of Maxwell's equations is useful for us means applications of Maxwell's equation. Applications of Maxwell's equations. So the study of this Maxwell's equations will helpful in the study of transmission lines. Okay. The study of transmission lines and in the study of antennas. Okay. So applications of Maxwell's equations are these two, in the study of transmission lines and in the study of antennas. In addition to these two, so the Maxwell's equations are also the mathematical background of the theory of electromagnetic waves. Also, these are the Maxwell's equations are also the mathematical background of theory of electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves. Okay. So sir, what do you actually mean by Maxwell's equations means? So again I am repeating here, the Maxwell's equations are describing the relationship between electric field wave and magnetic field wave. Okay. So and these two are the described in the two forms. One is integral form and point form. So what are the applications of Maxwell's equations? The Maxwell's equations applications are useful in the theory of, so these Maxwell's equations are the background of mathematics in the electromagnetic waves, and also it will helpful for us in the study of transmission lines, in the study of antennas. Okay. So now see, actually these Maxwell's equations, are 4 sets. Maxwell's equations are 4 sets. So what are those, you know? So Maxwell's equation, the 4 sets of Maxwell's equation. Maxwell's equations are actually 4 sets. What are those, you know? That is Maxwell's equations derived from Faraday's law, and Maxwell's equation derived from Ampere's law, and Maxwell's equation derived from Gauss law for electrostatics, and Maxwell's equation derived from Gauss law for magnetostatics. Now in this topic, in Maxwell's equations, we are going to derive the expressions for Maxwell's equation, which are deriving from Faraday's law, Ampere's law, Gauss law for electrostatics, and Gauss law for magnetostatics in both forms. In both forms means for time invariant fields. Then so we'll again see the derivations of these Faraday's, Ampere's, and Gauss law for electrostatics also in the time variant fields. Or time variant fields are also called as dynamic fields. Time invariant fields are also called as static fields. Now we will see one by one the Maxwell's equations one by one. So first of all I am going to discuss about the Maxwell's equations for static fields. Maxwell's equations for static fields. Maxwell's equations for static fields. Static fields are also called as what fields? Time invariant fields. Okay. So now the first equation is the Maxwell's equation. Derived from Faraday's law. For what? For static fields. See. So I think you already know about the Faraday's law. Okay. So what do you mean by Faraday's law? What is mean by Faraday's law? So an EMF will be induced in the conductor. So according to Faraday's law, an EMF will be induced in the conductor when there is a relative motion between conductor and magnetic field. Okay. So now we have an expression. Like this. See, it is circular line integration of E bar dot dl bar equals to 0. This is the mathematical expression of Faraday's law for static spring. How it will be, you know? See, to understand this equation, just let us consider a point charge. Okay, this point charge is having electric field around it like this. This point charge is having electric field around this like this. Now the region formed by the electric charge is called as electric field. Now suppose if you keep the similar charge in this region, if you want to keep the similar charge means the plus charge in this region, So what will happen? Due to the same polarity, the force of repulsion exists on the charge. So let us consider it is a charge Q and it is Qt. The magnitude of charge is Q and Qt. So the moment whenever you are placing the test charge in the region of electric field, see again I am repeating, the moment whenever you are placing the test charge in the region of electric field, what will happen? A force is experienced. A force is experienced on, this is test charge. Force is experienced on test charge due to Q charge. So now, so to move or to bring the same charge, test charge in the same location. So suppose if this charge is here, after experiencing force, it is moving some distance dl. Okay, na? So now I want to keep my test charge in the same position. In the same position. So in that case, what I want to do? So if I work, if I expend some work on this charge, it is at the same position. That means in this case the work is done. In this case the work is done. Okay, now so as it is moving linearly, the work is done here. Okay, now see, suppose if I want to move the same charge in the circular path like this, in the circular path like this, and I am bringing my test charge in the same location. What I am doing here, please observe this point carefully. So I am moving my charge in the circular path and I kept my charge at the same position. Okay, now, okay, and I kept my test charge in the same position. So can you tell me, in this case the work is done or not? No, obviously work is not done here. So work done on test charge is 0 for circular paths. For linear paths, work is done. Okay. If you move any equipment from one position to another position like this, if you move equipment, a body from one position to another position, in this case work is done. Suppose if you bring the same body to the same position, in this case the work is not done. So the work done is 0. Okay. So what is the work done on charge? It is potential. So E, it is also E. So E is equals to W by K. So as there is no work done on the charge, 0 by K is equal to 0. So that's why your 0 will get like this. Okay, now this is about the Maxwell's equation derived from the Faraday's law. So you can write the definition of Maxwell's equation derived from Faraday's law like this. Definition will be like this: the total electromotive force EMF around a closed path is equals to what? Equals to 0. Like this you have to define you can define your Maxwell's equation derived from Faraday's law. Now tell me, is it a integral form? I already told you that. So in Maxwell's equations are derived in two forms. One is integral form and point form. Now tell me, this is in which form? So as this equation consists of integration terms, it is a integral form. So integral form of this equation is called as like this: integral form of Maxwell's equation derived from Faraday's law. Finally, you have to conclude the statement like this: integral form of Maxwell's equation derived from Faraday's law for time invariant phase, because it is a time invariant phase. Now we have to derive the expression in the point form. So point form, this is the integral form. Now we will see the point form. Maxwell's equation derived from Faraday's law in integral form. This is the heading, integral form. Next is about, this is Roman letter 1 and 1 and This is a subtopic 2, the point form. This is the point form. How can you express the equation? How can you express the equation from integral form to point form? So by applying a Stokes theorem, as it is a line integration. Okay, as it is a line integration. So to convert line integration into surface integration, we need to use Stokes theorem. According to Stokes theorem, as per Stokes theorem, what is the Stokes theorem? Converts line integration into surface integration. When we convert line integration into surface integration, so we have to use curl operation. Curl operation is indicated with del cross E bar dot ds bar equals to 0. For isotropic materials, we can remove the integration on both sides so that we will get del cross E bar is equal to 0. This is the point form of similar terms, similar words you have to write here just by replacing integral form with the point form. So point form of Maxwell's equation derived from Faraday's law for which fields? Time invariant fields. So how many equations did you get till now? So equation 1 and equation 2. So up to now we have completed one set in the one equation. So as the Maxwell's equation consists of how many sets? Initially I told you that the Maxwell's equations are nothing but the 4 sets of equations. So out of 4 sets I have completed one. So next we will see the second one. That is Maxwell's equation derived from Ampere's law. Maxwell's equation derived from Ampere's law. Derived from Ampere's law. So I think already you know the statement of Ampere's law. What is the statement of Ampere's circuital law or Ampere's law? So it is the line integration of magnetic field intensity around a closed path is exactly equals to the current, direct current passing through the conductor. So it is about Ampere's circuital law. So mathematically how can you express the Ampere's circuital law? It is the line integration of magnetic field intensity, that is h bar dot dl bar is equals to enclosing current I enclosed. Okay, now see this is the integral form of this only. This is the integral form of, as this equation consists of integral terms, or also we can express the I enclosed in terms of current density, that is surface integration of j bar dot ds. But just by replacing the I enclosed with the above equation, we will get line integration of h bar dot dl bar is equal to surface integration of j bar dot ds bar. This is the expression of Maxwell's equation derived from Ampere's circuital law for time invariant fields. This is all for time invariant fields only. Time invariant fields, integral form. This is the integral form. So please keep in mind that we have to define the statement before writing the mathematical expression. What is the statement here? The statement is like this. Statement is like this. The line integration of magnetic field intensity around a closed path exactly equals to current enclosed by that path. Enclosed by that path. Okay, right. So like this, we have to state the statement before writing the expression. So now this is the integral form. This is the integral form. So then we need to write the point form here. Point form. So you already know how to convert integral form into point form. So how? By using Stokes theorem. So from Stokes theorem, so line integration can be converted into surface integration. So just write the expression before conversion. H bar dot dl bar, okay, equals to surface integration of j bar dot ds bar. Now I am converting this line integration into surface integration with the help of Stokes theorem. How can you convert with the help of curl expression? So just replace the line integration with surface integration and write down the curl before the quantity. What is the quantity we are converting here? H bar. So that's the just curl. Curl means del cross. This is done as del. So ts bar. As we are doing the integration with respect to surface, we need to write the ds bar here and s j bar dot ds bar. J bar dot ds bar. Okay. For isotropic materials or simulated materials, we can cancel the integration on both sides, so that the remaining equation will be del cross h bar is equal to, what is there here? If you remove the integration on both sides, this is an integration variable, it will be del cross h bar is equal to j bar. This is the point form of Ampere circuital law. This is integral form of Ampere circuital law for static fields. This is the point form of Ampere circuital law for static fields. So how many equations did you get till now? So in the earlier one, that is Maxwell's equation derived from Faraday's law, you have 2 equations. Now here you have 2 equations, totally 4 equations completed. Okay. Now we'll see the one more step. What is that? Maxwell's equation derived from Gauss law for electrostatics. So what is the statement of Gauss law? Total electric flux passing through any irregular surface area is equal to the charge enclosed by that surface area. Derived from Gauss law for electrostatics. Okay. So before that, you need to write the statement here. Before writing the mathematical expression, you need to write the statement. What is the statement? The total electric flux passing through any irregular surface area is equals to the charge enclosed by the surface area. That means psi is equal to q, or psi is equal to surface integration of d bar dot ds bar equals to q. Okay. So as we are writing the integral form first, integral form. Okay. Integral form. The total expression should be converted, should have integral terms. So surface integration of d bar dot ds bar is equal to, now change the q into integral terms with the help of volume charge density. So you already know the relation between q rho v dv. What is the relation between q rho v dv? It is volume integration of rho v dv. So it is volume integration of rho v dv. This is the integral form of your Gauss law for electrostatics. Similarly, point form, how can you write the point form? By applying Stokes theorem. So if you apply Stokes is used to convert the line to surface, but here we have a surface and value. So to convert surface integration into volume integration, we will use the divergence theorem. According to divergence theorem, we can convert the surface into volume integration. So now I am converting this surface into volume with the help of divergence operator. So before that I used curl operation. Here I use divergence. Divergence means del dot. Curl means del cross. So del dot d bar into dV equals to value integration of rho v dV. For isotropic materials, it will be also both integration gets cancelled on both sides, so that the remaining equation will be del dot d bar is equal to rho v. This is the point form of Gauss law for electrostatics. Okay. Now similarly, the last one is about Maxwell's equation derived from Gauss law for magnetostatics. Magnetostatics. Electrostatics is over. This is the third one, and finally, in the first set, finally the fourth equation, the fourth magnetostatics. What is the Gauss law for magnetostatics? It is also defined earlierly. So earlierly we have studied about Gauss law for electrostatics, where we defined the Gauss law, the electric flux passing through any irregular surface area is equal to the charge enclosed by the surface area. But in case of this magnetostatics, suppose if you consider the closed surface area like this, and if you place a magnet north to south pole, so now see, if you observe here, the magnetic field lines are not it does not coming outwards to the closed surface area. Okay, they are enclosing by the closed surface area. So the flux passing through irregular surface area is how much? This is your magnetic flux. Okay, the total number of lines of forces is called as magnetic flux. So now tell me, how much electric field is diverging at this point here? No, all the flux is enclosed by the closed surface area. Suppose if you take an electric flux, charge is there, and electric flux is ideally coming outwards like this. So that's why there is a, if you take a point here, okay, what is the divergence of electric flux density? It will be the charge enclosed by the surface area. But in case of magnetostatics, the flux which is coming outwards to the closed surface area is 0. So flux is 0, phi is equal to 0. Magnetic flux is represented with phi and electric flux is represented with psi. Okay, now how can you write the expression here? Psi, not phi, it is phi equals to 0, or phi in terms of magnetic flux density, it is surface integration of d bar dot ds bar is equal to 0. This is the integral form of Gauss law in magnetostatics. Similarly, point form, how it will be? Point form, surface integration, use the divergence theorem. So if you apply divergence theorem, surface integration can be converted into value integration, so that will be like this: del dot d bar dv is equal to 0. So del dot d bar is equal to 0. This is the point form. So now, how many equations we have now? Totally we have 16 equations. 16 or not? 2 plus 2 plus 2. 2 2 2 4 8 equations. Okay. So now I am writing summary here. Static fields are time invariant fields. So you need to fill this. Maxwell's equation derived from Maxwell's equations derived from first row. Derived from the first one is serial number. First one is Faraday's law. And for static field, in integral form. This is in integral form. And second one is about point form. Okay. So what is the Maxwell's equation which is derived from Faraday's law in integral form? It is line integration of d bar dot dl bar is equal to 0. In the point form, del cross E bar is equal to 0. Next, second one is what? Derived from Ampere circuit law. Ampere circuit. What is here? This line integration of h bar dot dl bar is equal to surface integration of J bar dot T S bar. This is the conduction current density AC. In point form, del cross H bar is equal to J bar. Is it or not? Check it once. Next, Maxwell's equation derived from Gauss law for electrostatics. See, is it not or not? Third one is this one. This is d bar dot ds bar is equal to volume integration of rho v dv. Those are surface integration of. And here del dot d bar is equal to rho v. And fourth one is our, this is the last one, Gauss law for magnetostatics. What is the d bar dot ds bar is equal to 0, and here del dot d bar is equal to 0. You need to keep all these formulas in your mind. Okay, so with this we have completed Maxwell's equations for time invariant fields or static fields. So in the next class I am going to discuss about the Maxwell's equation for dynamic fields or time invariant fields. Thank you.